Hey everybody, John here with the Stroke Sweat Squad outside your comfort zone with the 30-day hand challenge. This is day 11. Just going to talk about the hand a little bit more, and then get you guys working on something different, just to humor me a little bit. So again, I'm sitting here just stretching the fingers out, got the wrist down, fingers just being stretched out a little bit. I was involved in a research study where they're using electromagnetics. They put my hand into a sleeve with probes on it attached to my fingers, and my hand could not have any activity in the fingers, so the fingers couldn't be twitching at all. They had to be totally relaxed. So to do that, I had to keep putting weight. I did weight bearing on my shoulder, and the more weight bearing I did on my shoulder, the more relaxed my hand actually got. So I was actually like leaning in a chair, and I was leaning way over into it, just weight bearing on the elbow into the shoulder, and the hand was relaxed. And that's how I discovered some things that come across that actually would help me in my recovery. But what they do is they do have this sensors on here, and then they put this electromagnetic to the backside of my head and zap my brain with electromagnetics, and it would register in my fingers. So it just told me at that point that my fingers, the nerve endings have reattached to my brain from my hand, so the connections have been remade to the brain. But they were looking to do this for like patients that were wheelchair bound, that weren't able to get a lot of movement, and maybe with them sitting in a wheelchair, they could actually work on their hands and get those nerve endings to grow back the opposite direction. Usually they go from the extremity back into the brain, but they're trying to work on get them to go the opposite direction. But when they started testing mine, it showed up that I actually had the connection from my brain to my hand already. So what I did was I was always doing a lot of weight bearing on the elbow into the shoulder, and that just made my fingers relax a little bit more. And now I do this stuff quite a bit. And then, so if you're sitting in a chair, go sit in a chair somewhere, nice comfy chair. I'm gonna use this pillow right here, and just put your arm into the pillow, and you see if I did that, my fingers are loose. I had them laying on the table a minute ago, and they were not loose. They were a little bit tight. So these are relatively loose right now. So humor me on that and try that and see what you get. At the same time, you can see my wrist is also bent over, so they're a little more relaxed after that too. But that's what I do. I keep turning my chair in this research lab. It was at IU Medicine, downtown Indianapolis, and I lean into it and put as much pressure you can into the elbow and lean on it, and see if your fingers don't loosen up. I mean, try it for yourself and just try it a couple times. You might figure it out. Give me some feedback on that. Let me know if it does work for you or not. But I was just like constantly leaning into it in a chair, and the fingers just loosened up because they could tell if there's any. They had, they had sensors on my fingers, and I could look at the screen and see the little vibes on the fingertips. And all of a sudden, I'd lean over and sit at a certain spot, and those lines just went straight. There was no vibration, nothing being registered on the fingers at all. And then they would zap my brain, and you see the thing zap real quick, and watch it like just zap. See those radio waves just go all over haywire as the magnetic impulse went through my brain. It was a cool thing to try and a cool thing to be involved in. The doctor moved back to Canada. I don't know what the results were, but I felt mine were already connected. And the other side point of this was I was on baclofen. I'm not a fan of baclofen. Some people are a big fan of it. I'm just not a fan of it. Baclofen was actually preventing the impulses to go from my brain to my fingertips. They're a nerve blocker, so they're blocking the nerves. So once we got off the baclofen, the minute she zapped my brain, my fingertips showed up receiving those signals. So if you're unhappy with baclofen, talk to your doctor about trying something different. I said I'm not a big fan of it. I was on it for 4 or 5 years trying to keep the spasms down in my arm. It never stopped the spasms. My spasms got stopped when my therapist at the IU school actually made me a hand splint. The minute he made me a hand splint and straightened my fingers out a little bit, I stopped having spasms. The baclofen did not stop the spasms. I would woke up in the middle of the night, my arm pulled up tight against my chest, and just like painful till I could get it to straighten back out. Grab my other hand and straighten back out. And once I got straight again, the spasm went away. But the spasm I thought was in the arm, the spasm actually started in the fingers. And that's my hand would tighten up and then tighten the whole arm up. Once I get the hand loosened back up again, the spasm would go away. So, like I said, I'm not a fan of baclofen. I don't like the side effects of it. If you're not happy with it, talk to your physician, your primary physician, talk to your therapist about, see what options you have to try something different. That's just what I've learned over the years of doing some of the stuff, therapy stuff, and being involved in research studies, just trying to share that information. So hopefully this might help you out a little bit. Like I said, this is 30-day challenge, day 11. Just things for you to try and to work on. Give you some ideas to try to work on different things to see if you makes any difference in your journey or trying to gain some more function back out of your hand. There is certain things out there that will help you. I do recommend a hand splint to sleep in. I'm not too keen on them all day long, but they do help your fingers stay extended. I do we recommend one that keeps your fingers straight and your fingers can't curl up when you're in the splint or come out of the splint. They should be tightly in the splint so they can't go nowhere. I know we got some palm ones out there that seem pretty good. I just had a cheap generic one. Remind me, and I will put it on video tomorrow. The thumb did snap off of it, but it's just a cheap one that's made by my therapist in the lab. I think they make them putting the plastic in hot water and bending them the way they want them. So hopefully this helps you guys out. Have any questions, concerns? Hit me up. Suggestions? Talk to me. Let's see what you're thinking after you get 11 days in, if you're doing these or not. These are things I did to help me gain a lot of my arm. I said you saw me doing angel wings yesterday. I would take videos at Planet Fitness again, but I've already taken a lot of those already. But I'm doing a lot of work at Planet Fitness with this arm. I use this arm throughout the day, lifting a lot of boxes and stuff. I'll try to put that on a video. For you to try to do some things with that. Also using maybe the laundry basket around the house or some sort of pan or something. So just something simple to work with. I've got all kinds of simple things to work here with the hand. We might be able to get to by the end of the 30 days. I mean, there's different size foam ball. These are all cat and dog toys I picked up for like $2 or $3 a piece. So, and there's stuff that came with little foam anti-stress balls. But these right here, like this, they're just cat and dog toys. I've got a set of dice in here to try to work with. There's I use these bells right here where you can just work your hand over and learn to tap it and come back and tap it, come back. So we'll work on some things there too. And I've got this display board. I'll take some pictures of it and put it out there so you can take a look at it. And you can probably make this using sticky notes, pieces of tape on a table. So we'll talk more about this in the coming days. Hopefully that will help you guys out, and we'll talk to you later. So I get this to shut off on me.